Okay, so welcome you all in this session. So that is currently we will be talking on environmental issues. Okay, so what are the environmental issues and what are the personal and collective solutions that we can give for that, right? So before starting this session, so let me just remind ourselves, yes, this is a time of COVID pandemic. So just take care of yourself, your family and your loved ones. Don't be stressful and panic. So it's time to spread the positivity and learn as much as possible. Is it okay?
Yeah. I think you can turn off your video for a relay purpose.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
we can continue with the skills. Okay.
Yes. So we can use this time for enhancing our knowledge. We can whatever we wanted to do always, but we somehow procrastinated. So that we can do. So with this positive note, let me start this session. In this, what we will see first, what are the environmental issues? We will try to understand that. And just 2 days back, we had World Environment Day. So why there is need, and we will see some of the details about that. And the very important part is how to have some solutions regarding this because issue is big in front of us. So the outcome of this presentation or this session that I want to give you is yes, you can contribute irrespective of your status, posting, position, money, or whatever. You can contribute. Every one of us can contribute. Okay. So with this presentation, with this session, I will try to get you understand the importance of environment and what we can do for that. Okay. So I want this session to be interactive. Okay. So please feel free to put your views in the chat section or unmute yourself and answer. Okay. And no answer is wrong. So that's what I always believe. So please feel free to discuss and have this interactive session. Okay. So we will play one game, and that is devised by Dennis Meadows. He is the same person who was involved in famous report called Limits to Growth in 1972. Okay, so let us play this game, and for this, I want every one of you. Your hand should be free. Okay, so if you are holding any pen, pencil, or paper, so please put it down. Everyone, I need your mics unmuted for this
Yeah, I can.
activity, I guess. Okay.
Okay. I think you can show it in the video also now, this game actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
I think you have to turn on the video. Yeah.
Yes. So
For this.
everyone,
Yeah.
if you can turn on your video also, so that will be good for me and good for us. Okay. Everyone, very interesting game. Okay. Okay. So what I want to do is I want your hands to be free. Okay. Your both the hands, right? So you have put down your pen, paper. So what I want you to do is fold your hands just like this. Okay. Everyone has folded their hands, right? Previously. So please fold your hands. Everyone, those who are not having video on, they also should fold their hands. Okay. Very interesting activity. Okay. So everyone fold their hand. So notice which hand was on the top. Okay. So everyone, when we fold our hands, so one hand is on the top. So please notice that. Don't tell me now. Everyone notice?
Yeah. You can continue.
Yes.
Yes.
Then now you can put your hands down and again fold your hands. Second time. Okay. Everyone? Okay. So I hope everyone has folded. Now you can put your hands down. Okay. We have done with this activity. Okay. So please answer me. So which hand was on the top? So let's see if I'm
Left.
putting like this. So left hand was on the top for my case. So how many of you? You can use
I
chat
got the
section
same.
also.
Last.
You can use chat section. It will be nice for everybody to read actually. Other than
Yes.
yeah, you can put it in the chat box.
Everyone can type, right, in chat? Are they having access?
Or glad. Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah,
I
they
think
have.
we can only chat with
They
you as a
have.
host.
Sir, like we can only privately chat with the host right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I will say that. Everyone. Actually, I will just read out what they have told. Okay.
Okay.
I think in
Please
Joseph,
send your chat or yes, please.
I will just read out. Actually, most of them right hand. Somebody texted left hand. Somebody texted right hand. Everybody. Somebody texted left hand. Left hand. Uh, Shashi Kumar left hand. Rajkavan right hand.
Okay.
Upendra right hand. Okay. So it's a mixture we have now. Left hand
Right.
and right hand.
Right.
Yes.
So let me just
Yeah.
take out the inference from this activity. Okay. So half of you had left hand on the top and half of you had right hand on the top, right? And both the times
Yes.
you had the same hand. Is it correct for everyone?
Yes.
Anyone
Yes, sir.
who hadn't
Yes,
done
sir.
this, right? So for everyone, your right hand, if your right hand was on the top for the first, so second time also it was the same. So either you were in the, there are two categories, right? Currently, first is right hand, second is left hand. So 50-50 distribution, we can say. Agreed?
Yes. Yes.
And we almost everyone fold their hand in the same way time after time. Correct? And
Yes.
we are from this glorious institution, right? So Vrindavan College. So we are very smart people. So we can definitely deduce something from this, right? We can analyze this activity. Correct? Yes,
Yes.
we are scientists, we are engineers. Okay. So this is very interesting conclusion from this. So half of people having habit in one way and half of people having habit in another way of doing the same things, and both are right. And actually, what is this? We can do anyway, both are right, no issue. But to point to understand here is, this is what a habit is, and we are doing it without asking any question, because this is the psychological or neurological development that happened, and these are the activities that are out of our habit. So we don't have to think every time, so where to put my hands, right? So that has been developed as a habit for all of us human beings. Correct? So we use the same way, we use the things, or we do the things in the same way, that are our habits. Correct? But what I want to do it now, so please do it in a different way. So if at the first, if your right hand was on the top, so now I want you to do with your right. If you first was left, then now do it with right. If earlier you were right, now do it with left. So alternate. Okay, so I'll just put my right hand on the top. Okay, and again I will fold the hands. Everyone, please try once. Everyone. Okay, I hope everyone did that. Everyone able to do that, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Correct.
I think
So
I have enabled chat actually. They can post message actually.
okay. So can you please use the chat? I want this to be interactive activity, right? Yes, we can type.
Yes.
Yes, we can type. Yeah. Are you with me, everyone?
Yeah, they are all typing at me. You
Okay.
continue. Actually, I
Okay.
have.
Okay. Okay. Right. So congratulations, whoever did that. Right. But notice three things when we did this in alternate way. Okay. So first was, it was possible, right? Every one of us could do that. We managed to cross our hand differently, right, than normal. Then second thing, this is very interesting, we require some thought, right, to do that differently. We must have made some preliminary mistakes. We had to thought something how to do that, right? And it was uncomfortable at the first. Correct? Right? We felt
Yes.
little strange doing it differently than normal, right?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Shivani. Yes, correct. So with this, I want to relate you with very important topic. Okay. So please take a note of this. So for the last 250 years, we as a humanity, we had many habits in a similar way. We have developed extremely effective set of habits, whether they are increased energy use, rising food production, more and more use of forest, and so on and so forth. But now circumstances have changed, and to sustain the human welfare, we need to reduce the impact on climate. That is on paramount importance. We need to reduce our use of activities that put more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and we have to change our habits in our activity folding our hands. So we have seen we had some habits, right, and we have changed it, but it is similar with these habits as well, which are environment friendly. So we will be seeing this three things, same interpretation, same things will happen, that we will be able to do that. If you want to change your habits as a environment friendly, yes, you and I will be able to do that. But for second thing, what we have seen, it will require some careful thought, correct? And no doubt it will entail some mistake, it will have some preliminary mistakes that are bound to be there. But the important is, whenever we are on this path, so we have to learn continuously, we have to be aware of the world scenario, we have to continuously learn and continuously grow, correct? Agree everyone? Yes. So I'll again take you to this same book called Limits to Growth, 1972. Okay. So this is a graph that was published in this report. So let's say this is the, on x-axis it is time, on y-axis it is space. Okay. And these are the problems that every one of us face, every human being face. But what happened? Most of the people are concerned over only up to this point only. Means only about this near term. What about next week, next few days, and about only about their family or neighborhood. We only try to solve problem for this is the issue for majority of the world's people, correct? And very few people who look ahead of the time for their lifetime or their children's lifetime, or in the space they can relate to their complete nation or complete world. So these are very few people who think about the global perspectives, and that extends to the future. But we, as an educated person, right, so we have to always think about this quadrant, how to get into this right side and top side quadrant, right top. Okay. So this is what which is required in this 21st century to make some difference, right? So yes, so with this activity, I hope everyone is now attentive, more attentive, correct? So this is very important quote from Garrett Hardin. He says that ecology is the overall science of which economics is a minor specialty. But in world scenario, if we see the market trend and all that, we consider economy as important or paramount, and we don't give importance to ecology. But always understand that uh, this is the main set, we can say, ecology, and economics is the only subset of this. Okay, so importance is to the ecology, that we have to understand. Okay, so just 2 days back, it was World Environment Day, 5th of June. So let us see some details about it and the importance of this World Environment Day. Okay, so let's see first history so that we will be able to correlate it in a much better way. In 1972, United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, designated this 5th June as World Environment Day. And the first celebration was done in 1974 with slogan of Only One Earth. And in the following decades, in the years, so we have celebrated this 5th June as well Environment Day to raise the awareness on the problems facing our environment. So which are the problems? These are air pollution, plastic pollution, illegal wildlife trade, sustainable consumption, sea level rise, food security, and among others, many others. Okay. And this is a day which help to change the consumption pattern, which is very important. And It also helps to drive some national and international environmental policies. So that's why this day holds very importance in environmental history or environmental conservation movement, right? And every year has a theme. Every year we focus on something and we try to spread awareness regarding that. So in 2021, this year, ecosystem restoration is the theme of this year, and which includes growing trees, greening cities, rewilding gardens, changing diets, or cleaning up rivers and coasts. So whatever it takes to restore the ecosystem, so that is included in this year. And ultimate aim is to make the peace with nature. So that is what we want, right? So you must have a question, what is ecosystem restoration, right? So restoration is the assisting in recovery of ecosystem, this is important, that have been degraded or destroyed, as well as conserving the ecosystem that are still intact. Okay, so we have 2 points over here. Okay, first is whatever has been degraded and destroyed, so we have to recover that, correct? Second is whatever is intact, so that we have to conserve as it is. We have to conserve the integrity of the ecosystem. Okay. So, and how to do that, right? So this is very wide field. The when we consider the healthier ecosystem, so that will give all the benefit such as richer biodiversity, higher yield benefits, and other benefits like fertile soil, bigger yield, timber of fish, or larger stores of greenhouse gases will be there. So these are some of the benefits that will we get when ecosystems are healthy. And it can happen in multiple ways, by let's say actively planting or removing pressures on the ecosystem or nature, so that we can do. But all this process required some uh, overview, some complete understanding of this. Okay, so let us first view what is environment, what is ecosystem, and so that we will appreciate why there is need for this day and why there is need for restore the ecosystem. First is, you must have heard the environment, right? So we use this word in general sense as well, right? Positive environment or motivating environment, college environment, right? So actually environment is the surrounding or conditions in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operates. So it includes all the things that are surrounding to us. That is the environment. It can be a natural world as a any geographical area. Okay, and important point is the environment is the affected by human beings, right? The second term that we will see, that is the ecosystem. So what is the ecosystem? That is the community of living organisms in conjunction with the non-living components of their environment, and they are all interacting as a system. So these are in a dynamic equilibrium, and which is very important for the sustenance of all the species. Ecosystem contains two important components, that is biotic and abiotic component, and they are linked together through nutrient cycles, energy cycles, and this dynamic equilibrium is very important. Okay, so this is energy balance or ecological balance, we can say. So how that balance is there, so we will see this. When we say ecology, so that is the eco means our house, or logy means science. So from there it has come. So earlier times it was just related to about our house, right? That is the space in which the interaction takes place in between a community with all its complex interrelationships and with physical environment. So as we have seen, there are two types, living and non-living. So let's see the biotic part, which includes all microorganisms, bacteria, animals, and plants, and which are of majorly two types. Autotrophs means auto means self. So they can produce their food by themselves. So these are also called as producers, or heterotrophs. So these are dependent on others for their consumption, for their nutrition. So these are the consumers. Consumers can be categorized as primary, secondary, tertiary, and also there are decomposers and transformers, which also play very important role in ecosystem. Second type, that is the abiotic. First we have seen biotic, second is abiotic. So these are all organic compounds and inorganic elements like soil, water, oxygen, calcium, carbonates, etc. So these are very, very important in the overall health of an ecosystem. And as we have seen, let's say this is an ecosystem, there are multiple animals, multiple plants in that. So how they are interacting? So let's see with this uh, pyramid as well, right? So the importance is a food chain. Okay, we will see the difference between food chain and food web. Okay, and these are also called as trophic levels. So these are the trophic levels. Okay, so main two types of food chains are there: grazing food chain and detritus food chain. So the example can be grass, herbivore, and carnivore. So this is going in this way. Okay, and detritus is non-living organic microorganisms or detrivores are there. So food chain is very important when we consider the long-term sustainability of this ecosystem, right? In food chain, there is a transfer of energy from producer to herbivore or primary consumer, from primary consumer to secondary consumer, and so on and so forth. But it is not only a one way. So it is not like that it will happen like this: rabbit, fox, and eagle only. So it will be many other parts over here as well. So that is called as a food web. There is very complex and interlocking food chains connected to all organisms, and that is called as food web. Okay, so when this energy is transferred, so that is not transferred 100%, right? So there is around 80 to 90% of energy is lost as a hit during this process. So this is also called as a 10% law. So only 10% of energy is passed through these trophic levels. Okay, so if 100% energy is there with producers, so only 10% will be passed to primary consumer. 10% of that means 1% will pass to the secondary consumer, and 10% of that means only 0.1% will be available for the tertiary consumers. Okay, in this way, to have a balanced or perfect ecosystem, there are multiple cycles are there: energy cycles, nutrient cycles that we have seen. So here you can see the example of two. First is nitrogen cycle and second is water cycle. So these cycles are very important, which will circulate these essential nutrients, these essential elements, abiotic components throughout the system. And that is also linked with all the microorganisms, all the animals, and all the plants. So at this point, please remember that interaction is very important, right? Everyone is dependent on each other. What happens when this balance, when this cycle is broken somewhere, when there is imbalance in the system? So this is very latest report for you. This report is from May 29th. So just 7 days back, you can say. Currently, rural Australia is facing this very big problem. There is a plague of mice in Australia. Okay, so earlier few years it was somewhat hard time for them with drought, but this year the water harvest was good, and also there is some imbalance in the predator prey. Okay, predator means who eats the prey, right? So that imbalance, somewhere is there imbalance in that, and you can see such kind of situation happening. So there are millions of rat in the houses, in the godowns, and people are not able to sleep. So if you see the video of this, you can just search for this. So you will get very discomfortable by seeing this much of mice or this much of rodents in our houses. So that is really very big problem there. So this is what happens when any one of the element. So if only the predator has been vanished from this ecosystem, so this is the serious condition, and the economy of this area is in dire situation, very dangerous situation. Okay. So is it first time that has happened? No. In the previously as well, in the history, if we say in 1950s, so there was some problem with the DDT. So this is one chemical that is used for malaria prevention, and due to which the operation cat drop. So just imagine this, very interesting, right? So if you imagine the cats being dropped with the parachute, so every cat is having some parachute and they're dropping on the earth. Sounds interesting, right? But situation is very grim. So actually what happened at that time, due to this DDT, all cats were died. And if cat died, so what happened? The rodent population increased tremendously, and due to which the different diseases with rodents, so that also increased. And due to which the cats had to bring out from the other areas and to put into that. Okay, so this was also happened in this Dutch Borneo, and now that is in Indonesia. Okay, so please remember that you can also go to this links, go to this report, so you can get a better idea. And here I want to just introduce you to this concept, or to appreciate the importance of the balance in ecosystem. Okay, so it is not only important for the nature, we can say it is very important for us. If there is some imbalance in the nature, so that will cause imbalance to all over the systems, economy, society, even mental health as well. So everything is dependent on this. Okay, yes, and now we come to very important topic among this, and that is biomagnification. So when we are seeing the issues of DDT, right? So this is concept called biomagnification or bioconcentration. So this is the process in which the concentration of the toxin or toxic chemical such as pesticides, these accumulate in the tissues of tolerant organisms, and it pass to successively higher levels in the food chain. So we have seen the food chain, right? So at the bottom of the food chain, it is very low, but as you go to the top, it increases tremendously. So the level can increase from 0.003 ppm parts per million to 5 parts per million. This is one example in aquatic food chain. So if in water, DDT level is 0.003 ppm. Okay. In zooplankton, so that will be given to 0.04 ppm. So as you go to the successive higher tropic level, so this concentration of this toxic chemical will increase. That is called as bioconcentration, and it will be very high in this top level, tertiary or the final consumer. Okay, and this is also happening in other food chains as well. It is not only for aquatic, it is also for other grazing food chain and all this. Okay, so after understanding this, the importance of ecosystem, importance of this balance, so we have come to conclusion. I hope everyone agree with me that environmental conservation is essential. Correct? So that's why the environmental management is very important in this. So this is the approach or study, which is the combination of ecology, economics, law, politics, people, social sciences, etc. So this is not only related to ecology. This is a multi-dimensional, interdisciplinary, intradisciplinary approach. Okay. So it includes environmental planning, conservation of resources, environmental status, the evaluation, monitoring, legislation, and administration. So all this is included in environmental management. So there are some of the tools that we can use in this environmental management. So I'll just list some of these. We will not see them in detail. There can be environmental assessment, cost benefit analysis is there, environmental impact statement or environmental audits, waste minimization programs are there. There are audits for waste as well, LCA, life cycle assessment, or environmental design. So these are all tools or methods that we can use, right? But as we are from technological background, so everyone is from engineering, right? So we must understand one point over here, that only technology won't solve all these problems. And if someone is saying that we can increase this technology, we can have this much technology and we can solve all these problems, so that is a misleading claim. We have also support for this with law of entropy. Or I'll again tell what is the technological solution, or when we say the technical solution, so what is that? So when we say that solution, so that only change in the techniques of natural sciences. So we try to explain this with natural sciences, and we are finding that solution with little or nothing difference in the change of way of human values or idea of morality. So if we are not thinking about the human values or the idea of morality, and we are only focusing on these techniques of natural sciences. So that will not be an solution for long period, or it will not be long-term solution. It will create unintended consequences. Okay. So with environmental management, we have a goal to establish limit and control, identify threats and opportunities, okay, sustaining and improving the existing resources, preserving the preventing the problems. So whatever we are getting, then we have to research, monitoring, management. So all that we have to do for environment. Favorable technologies and policies we have to put forth. And ultimate aim is the quality of life that should be improved for all of us, right? So to understand this point, so I'll give some basic details about this ecological footprint. Okay, so what is this? Ecological footprint measures the aggregate land area required. Okay, aggregate land area required for given population to exist in a sustainable manner. So we know footprint, right? It is a mark with our foot or our shoe. So in the same way, how much area we are required for our population to exist in a sustainable manner. And that is one more term is there called carrying capacity. So this is the maximum number of animals or the species, one or more species that are accumulated in one habitat and which can be supported. Okay, so they have to be supported for a longer term. So that is called as carrying capacity. And this idea of carrying capacity was conceived by Mathis Wackernagle and William Rees in the 1990s. And this movement had launched many other footprint, such as water footprint, carbon footprint, or there are newer, this all footprint movement is there. Okay. So important point is to understand that whenever we are consuming more resources, then that is the issue with the overshoot, we can say. We are consuming more than the capacity. Okay. So this is very interesting that why do we need the ecological footprint, right? You must ask. So we are harming our environment in two ways. First is by extracting more resources beyond limits. So there is certain limit, right? So Earth has some limit, but we are extracting more. So this is the extraction issue, we can say. And second thing is by depositing more waste than the Earth's capacity to handle it. So in the both way, we are harming the environment, right? And this is the trend for this ecological footprint. So you can see in the year 1970s, we have crossed the extraction of equivalent to one Earth. Okay, so whatever resources that can be supported, we are extracting more than the Earth's capacity from the year 1970, and it has been increasing every year and year. So we are consuming more resources than the Earth's capacity. And currently, so this is the latest figure. So in the year 2016, so we are consuming almost 1 and 1.7 Earth. Okay, so we are consuming more Earth and we are drawing more from the resources from the Earth. So that is not a good thing for a long-term view, if we say. Okay. So you have seen this graph now. So let us first understand about higher growth. So what is the issue? Someone might say that if it is growing, so what is your problem? Correct? What is the issue with that? So let us see one very important point over here. And I want to make you understand this exponential growth. Okay. So let's see two important quotes before going to this. First is by Albert Einstein. So everyone knows about him, right? Albert Einstein says that the most powerful force in the universe is compound interest. Okay, so he says that compound interest is the most powerful force. Second quote, this is Michael Christian, and says that bacteria multiply geometrically. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and so on. In this way, it can be shown that in a single day, one cell of E. coli could produce a super colony equal in size and weight to the entire planet Earth. Correct? So these are two quotes that are talking about this continuous growth. Okay, so let us see this game now. And I want to make this activity also interactive. So please put your thoughts in chat, or please feel free to tell what you're doing. Okay. So let's move to this game. Okay. So let us assume that you have one paper. Everyone, if you have one paper, any paper, so you can take that. Okay. So for just understanding, I'll just switch on my video. Okay. For this activity. So let's say this is one paper, correct? And let's assume the thickness of this paper is 0.1 mm. Okay. Agreed? 0.1 mm. Okay. So what I'm doing is, this is paper. So I'm folding it in half. So let's say this is my paper. So I'm folding it in half. What happened? The thickness doubles, correct? So earlier it was 0.1, now it's 0.2, right? So my question is to you, how much would be its thickness after folding it 42 times? So I'm folding it, I can show you. So I'm folding it again. So again, thickness doubles. I'm folding it again, thickness doubles. So in this way, I'm folding it only 42 times, correct? So what can be the thickness? Any answer? Everyone understood, right? I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what can be the answer? Don't worry about the right or wrong. I'm giving 5 seconds, okay? You must have thought some number. So just put it. Don't worry about right or wrong. Okay.
9.2.
What? 9.2. Okay. I'll just write over here. Okay. 9.2. Unit? Centimeter?
Centimeters.
Okay. Any other answer? Please. You're all from third year, right? Or final year? Yes, Mohammed. Yeah, please. You have raised your hand. Please, everyone. There is no wrong answer, okay? So if you feel this is the answer, so that is the right, na? Why to worry about others? Please.
43 into 10 power 10 centimeters.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. Can you repeat?
43 into 10 power 10 centimeters.
10 to the power 10 centimeter. Okay. Any other answer? We will see. Okay.
15.8, sir. 15.8 centimeters.
Okay. We are folding it 42 times. Everyone understood, right? Okay. So fourth, any answer? Are there any in chat? 8.4. Okay, Raj. Okay. So it's okay. So I now know that you have some calculations. You did some work, right? So thank you so much for all you for your. Yes, Sanjay. Yes. Thank you so much. So now let us see the answer. So what is the answer? Okay. So this is the distance. Everyone, can you see? And how much is the distance? How much is this thickness of the paper? So we are just assuming that it
From
can be
1 to
folded more than 7 or 8 times. But actually in practical, we cannot fold, but we have assumed, right? So this is the thickness of paper so that we will receive 4,39,804 kilometers. The unit has changed. Okay. And how much is that? So the distance between moon and earth, so that is 3,84,400 kilometers. So that is more than that. Okay. So this is how big it becomes. Okay. And why this has become, and to point to understand is that we have folded it in finite times. 42 is a finite number, even less than 100, less than 50 also. Okay. And we have also started with 0.1 centimeter. Okay. Very, very little, right? But still we got this much astounding number, very, very big number, this much. Okay. So this is the power of exponential growth, and the phenomenon is called as doubling time. So this is when it is doubling with every few years. So that is the very dangerous situation that can occur with this. Okay. So that's why we have to go to sustainable development. That's why sustainable development is so essential. So this is the development that meets the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So this is standard definition by Brundtland report in 1987. Okay. So someone will ask for whom this is important, right? For who should care about sustainable development? So we can say everyone who consumes air, water, food, and who lives on the planet. For that person, this is important. They have to contribute in this. They have to understand these issues. Okay. So sustainable development is not a standalone activity. So it requires economy, ecology or environment, and society. So this is combination of all. And why there is need of sustainable development? So you can say first is over exploitation of natural resources. Many of these species are being extinct each year, and we have already seen, right? So when there is imbalance in ecosystem, so how dangerous it can be. So first, I think you understood. Second, scarcity of resource. In many part of India right now, if you see, we have water scarcity in summer. It had not the case few years back, but now we are facing the severe scarcity of resources. And third is about climate change. So the hurricanes and all these natural disasters, so that are also increased. Rising sea level is the issue. Rising CO2 concentration is also issue. So these are some of the things for which this sustainable development becomes necessary. And here, this is very short. This is one presentation, this slide. This gives the, in short, how this environmental conservation had a history. So this is not only activity, but I would like to just quote few of this. So if you could search about this, if you can visit about this meets, these reports, so that would be really great for understanding. So we will not be able to cover it in detail, but the first thing I would like to make point here is this 1972, this report was published, Limits to Growth. Okay, the commissioned by the Club of Rome. So when I read this report, when I read this book, so it changed my view. It changed my perspective regarding all these things. A really very life-changing book, I can say, this one. So if you can get a copy of it, if you can read that, that will be really helpful. Or at the same time, you can also search for these other books as well, other reports or other important historical events that has occurred. Okay, so this is a continuous process. It is not only about a decade or a year. Okay. So let's see what are the issues. So these are some of the issues that we can say: population or chemicals like DDT, then water crisis, green revolution, and what are ill effects. But to understand the importance, I'll only take one problem over here, that is population. Okay, so currently we are having how much population? Any answer? How much is the human population of the world or India? You can tell any. Any answer? Okay, so let me tell you about the world population first. Okay, so you see, hello.
Sanjay, you want to tell something? Yeah, you can continue. You can
The
continue.
population Population of India is 136.6 crores.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Correct. Okay. So this is the world population trend. So just please give your attention to me for this just 1 minute. Okay. So everyone, in the year 1800, so we are going back, so almost 220 years, correct? The world population, total world population was only 1 billion, around 1 billion people. Okay. In 1925, we have added 1 billion in this in 125 years. It took 125 years to add 1 billion, correct? In 1960, world population became 3 billion. So for this 1 billion, it required 35 years. Next, 74, 4 billion, 87, 5 billion, 99, 6 billion, 2011, 7 billion. So we crossed the 7 billion mark in 2011, and you can see the number of years that required to add the 1 billion population. And currently, we are almost near to the 8. It is almost around 7.75 billion, the whole world population. So it is estimated that 24 to 30. So in this range somewhere, we will cross this 8 billion mark as well. Okay. And how big is 1 billion? So this much big is 1 billion. 9 zeros are there. Or to understand it simply, 100 crore means 1 billion. Okay. So let's talk about, as we come from India. So I have taken the example of India over here. So I'm not talking about far history point, where I have just taken the 1960. Okay. So in 1960, you can see the India's population was 451 million. Converted in crores, it is around 45 crores. Okay. And in next 60 years, in the, let's say 2020, now we have more than 135 crores people. Correct. So you can see in just this 60 years of time, we have increased the population 3 times. Correct. So when population is increased, the use of natural resources are also increased, and as well as waste production. So these two go hand in hand. Second, due to which the pressure is created and there is imbalance in the environment. There is shortage of food and water. The depletion of resources and biodiversity is there because we need the houses, we need the support related, let's say furniture and all this. So there is also impact on the biodiversity as well, deforestation like that. And ultimately the quality of life decreases. So there is scarcity of food, scarcity of water. So the adulteration of food happens, and ultimately it is harmful for the quality of life. Correct. So what is the way out? So many other organizations are working for this. So these are just for the introduction. So this is not a complete list of these who are working. So just for information, so United Nations is there, in which United Nations Environment Program is there, or United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. IPCC is there, European Union or different national governments are there, or these are some of the NGOs or organizations are there who are working for this environmental conservation. Okay. So what I would request you to please connect with any of these, so that you will get connected with this. What is the issue currently going on? At least you will be aware of this. Okay. So these are all good institutions and there are many more. So please get connected with someone so that you will get the details about this. You will be aware of this. But only one caution that I want to give you is, this is a quote from Forest Stewardship Council, which says that there are no absolutes about method. Okay. So this is the quote. So they say that there are no absolutes about method. So whenever you consider any method, it is not absolute, and it should be fine-tuned with specific situation and time. So whatever method is applicable in, let's say, Europe, so that may not be applicable in India. Correct. Or whatever was applicable in 1970s, so that may not be applicable in 2021. But we have to fine tune it. So never take anything that as it comes, because everything that is absolute, there are multiple factors. So please have this in mind. Okay. So the question is, what we can do, the issue is very big, correct? What we can do, so these are just few points that I want to go through in short. So first is proper understanding. So currently we are in data era of data, right? Information age. So please ensure that whatever data you are gathering, so that is from trusted and reliable sources. Okay, because the data, the information makes your belief and therefore actions. So that's why please make sure that it is from unbiased sources, it is from trusted source. Okay, that is most important point I would like to highlight over here. Okay, this is very important. Then these are some of the points that please check which of your lifestyle uh, is causing this problem, or take any one of that, then just try with one short activity. And uh, whenever we expand that activity, so that becomes really great. So you can expand it to your friends, family, your community, your friend circle, and all this. Or what you can do, this is just a short acronym that I came up with: ABCD for E for environment. Okay, first is arrange the observance of this day. So as Vrindavan College of Engineering has put this session, so that I congratulate them for this arranging this session. So observe this kind of days, so with quiz, post presentation, slogan making, etc. So it will also enhance the moral and productivity of all people. Okay, be committed to environment conservation. Put any small activity that you can do. Okay, see, consult to experts. So if you have some doubt in any one of that, so you can consult someone. Or D, so this is very important, develop the staff. So it is not only about one day, it is not only about one project, it is about how we develop our staff, how we develop our organization for the higher goal. So each and every student who is graduating for this college or this organization, we can say, so he is environmentally literate. Okay, so that kind of purpose, that kind of goal we can have, right? So what we do, I always focus on what personally we can do. Okay, because when we rely on organizations, when we rely on other parts, governments and all that, so that becomes somewhat the blame game, or what we cannot do. But when it comes to personal, we everyone can do that, and there is no doubt, correct? So I have prepared this action guide for this environmentally conscious lifestyle. So I'll also share with professor, so he might share with you. Okay, so these are some of the short points that I'll quickly go through, so you can read them at your convenience. Okay, so 5 levels are there. First is personal, second is home or family, third is workplace, fourth society, and travel. So what we can do, these are short step by step approach that you can follow. First is personal level. So first is about read, listen, and watch programs related to this. Get aware about this. That is very important. Get connected with these organizations, NGOs, or who are working on this. Okay. I'll not cover all these points in view of the time that we are having. Okay. But if you have any question regarding this, so you can definitely put your question in chat, or you can ask at the end of the session as well. At family level, first is commit for zero waste of food and water. That is the minimum thing that we can do. Correct. At workplace, if we consider, so we can use scrap paper for the both the side and print on the both side, that we can do, right? At society, if we say, so buy local, that is very important thing that we can do. And when it comes to traveling, so always prefer bicycle or walking or bicycle, so or if not, public transport. So these are the things that we can do. Okay, so these are some of my personal contribution that or what I did. So I just want to present it so that you will also get an understanding of how you can also contribute in a better way. Okay, so first, this was a chair. So this was before rework, and it was bought in 1989. So it is older than me also. Okay, it is an 31 years old chair. And when it reworked, so it just become just like a new. You won't recognize that it is old chair. So this is just like a new chair. Okay. Second is we have having Ganpati festival, right, in September. So instead of POP, plaster of Paris, so we can make our own idol from clay. So I have been doing this activity from past 2 years. So I make some of these idols, okay, and I distribute to some of my friends, some of my family members. So if they want, so they can have these idols. Okay, this is me. Okay, so cycling. So this is very important activity, and this what is the consumption of, let's say, carbon dioxide equivalent per passenger kilometer. So this I have taken from the report of European Cyclist Federation. The report is cycle more often to cool down the planet, quantifying CO2 savings of cycling. So according to them, so this is the CO2 equivalent of carbon dioxide. So what is that for car, bus, motorcycle, and bicycle? So from this, I used bicycle from in June 2019 to May 2020. So before the COVID pandemic, okay, around 1100 kilometers. Okay. So when I compare that with motorcycle, so that is almost 204 kg of CO2 equivalent. So that I have saved with this. And the health benefits are not included in this. Okay. So we have multiple health benefits of that. Correct. So next point that I want to emphasize is the importance of food. No food wastage on the plate, not even the last grain or morsel. Every food morsel. So that is very, very important. So the importance of food is very high for many peoples. We have the people don't get food. Okay, and it's very, very bad situation for them. That only I can say. So please value the food, and don't waste any single grain also that we can do. Okay, so after this, I'll just go through what are the professional ways that we can do. So this is the boiler for the tribal community. So we can also have such activities as an institute. In a CSR, we can install such projects. So this is a parabolic solar trough collector. So with this, there is hot water provision to all these tribal people, so that there is saving of their fuel also, and they will get clear water, hot water also. Okay, or there many times there are design issues. Okay, so if you are in manufacturing industry, so you can always go for modular design, design for repair, design for disassembly, and like that. Or let's say you are in construction, or you are looking after some buildings and all that, so you can ensure such things. This is a tab that I had recognized in one of the hotels. So the construction was such that this tap has to make completely on, 100% on, to wash the hands. It was not possible to operate it in 30% or 40%, because it was very few gap, and it was not possible. Water was just falling over here, and the hand was touching here. So this kind of construction, this kind of design, so if we can avoid, so that will be good for environment as well. Okay, so these are some of these small initiatives that any institute can take. I'll just quickly go through them. First is solar PV, photovoltaic systems. Okay, then we can treat our wastewater and use in the campus, okay, as gray water. Okay, rainwater harvesting can be done. Energy considerations in the building construction, so natural light can be used whenever possible. Circular economy principles can be used. And as you're all from civil, right? So this is circular economy is also implemented in civil, also in construction also. So they are promoting the demolished construction waste materials. Okay, so that you can use. Switch to green concrete or low carbon concrete. The newer technologies are coming, which will take out the carbon. Okay, so the carbon emission is not there due to this. Or employ the safety measures to control dust particles, majorly PM 2.5. Okay, so during construction, so many times what happened, the air pollution is very high near this construction sites, so that we can always reduce with the safety measures while working. Okay, so the one point that I wanted to emphasize in this session, and I want to equip every one of you with this, is one person can also change the world if he thinks so. That is the point. So how we can do that? With minimalism, with bicycle use, with vegetable based diet. So actually we can get our protein from pulses. that is very healthy way, and that is good for environment as well. We can use public transport, renewable energy. This is all in our control. Okay, so no one can say that this is not in my control. Everyone, each one of us can do this. The events, we can have sustainable events like marriage or some parties, we can have that, correct? We can save the electricity, we can save the food, fuel, and we can have the long term lifestyle. Okay, so where to get these inputs? So is it free somewhere, right? So there are some good podcasts I can suggest you. First is Conversation Earth. So you can just listen these podcasts, and these are great people who are talking about these issues, so that you will also get to understand it in much better way. So this is just a small list. There is many good programs out there. Just go, just search for it. It is freely available on all podcast options or apps. Okay. So this is just a short point. You can read that. So what you and I can do, correct? So use every bit of paper, or uh, drive vehicle at a steady pace, correct? So these are very short points, very small points. So you might say that, will it change something on the global level, or is it any significance, correct? Anyone having this question or no? Use stairs as much as possible. So these are small activities, correct? But the importance of this is that every time, let's say you are using the stairs instead of your, let's say, lift or the carrier, okay, so that you'll take. So every time you are doing this, so you are remembering yourself, you are making a habit that yes, environment is somewhere essential, so that your activities get finer each time, and it will put consciousness of yourself about this environmental conservation. So that's why even small activities also counts. Okay, so let's say this is the road to sustainability, this is the future that we want, this is a sustainable future, if I can say, and this is a road to sustainability. So we have a bright and sustainable future. So if we want that, so this is the road to sustainability, and currently we are here, and we need to fix this first. Okay, this is in construction. So this is, let's say, might be 10 or 20 years from now. So whatever actions we will do, so that will be reflected in this future. So that's why it is very essential, this we have to do now. Okay, and to do it, let's do it. But I understand that being a change agent is hard. It's not easy, it was never easy. It takes courage, it takes passion, it takes knowledge. But always remember this quote from Herb Cohen, who says that power is based upon your perception. So if you think you have got it, then you have got it. So if you think that I have this power, I can do it. So if you think that, if you have that perception, then you can absolutely do that, and you will get that power. Okay. Yes. So with this positivity, with this can-do attitude, so this is just one my small contribution towards this. This is my YouTube channel called Sustainability Simply Put. So in this, I try to simplify these activities, these concepts, these difficult, let's say, analytical things into a simple way that can be understood by everyone. Okay, these are some of the videos that I publish in this YouTube channel. Okay, and this is one of the course called Basics of Sustainability, Learn in Simple Language. This is I have uploaded on Udemy. This is self-paced learning and certification course. So if you want to pursue it at your pace, so you can go for that. Okay, or if you require any help in this also, you can contact me, right? So we are ending this session now here, but I want you to take these points with you in today's session. So first is, sustainable development is most important for all of us. It is having paramount importance. Okay. Second thing, only economic consideration is a flawed management and decision making tool or decision making process. We should not have only economic consideration. It is a wrong way. Third, ecosystem balance is very important and needs to be preserved. we should give importance to the ecosystem as well, or first importance should be given to ecosystem. That is the point. Next, each one of us has power to change the system. We can change, we can vote with our lifestyle, that we can do. And ultimately the last one, that is the minimalism is the solution for environment and self happiness as well. So if you see, when we buy things, when we buy, let's say, new clothes, new mobiles, so why we buy that? So actually we want the happiness, right? So happiness can be increased by one way. You can buy more and more stuff, correct? So you will get happy. That is one way. Or second way is keep your requirements as low as possible, correct? So that you will get happy. So that is also one of the way. And as I'm also student of yoga, so with that I can say that true contentment or true happiness, so that definitely comes from minimalism. You can just try it for 7 days or 1 month and you will get the benefits. You will see the how a better person you have become with this. Okay, so these are some of the points I would like take you home. Please have a thought on this. If you want to have any question regarding this, please write to me on this. We can discuss it in a better way, but I want to internalize these things. Please have a thought about this. Please have a discussion about this. Okay, you can connect with me if you have any question, any questions now.